What's up, YouTube fans? Today I want to take a look at the Robosen Transformers auto-converting Grimlock. So I got this from Hasbro Pulse, and this was on a pretty good sale. I got it for about half the price. It was originally $1,500, and they had it for $750 for an event. So we picked this up. We got this actually for our buddy Niles, my fellow New Yorker, and I did an unboxing with him. So if you're interested, and I have him on, so you're going to see him doing stuff in the background. But if you're interested in seeing the unboxing, then you can check out that video I put out yesterday. But today we'll take a look at this guy. And I just want to show you some of the stuff he comes with out of the box. So first off, when you take it out of the box, you need to charge it. So if you open up this port here, you'll see there's a little slot, a USB-C port there. And that will fit this charger. It's just a standard charger, USB-C style, and it took a couple hours to charge. It's not very long actually, but it does. You do want to charge it up so you can use it for longer. Otherwise, it does drain batteries pretty quickly. The next thing you got is a collector coin, like we used to get with the old Masterpiece figures, and this is just a gold die-cast coin with Grimlock on this side, Transformers on this side. It looks nice. And I think this is because it's the collector's edition. It comes with this. They may put out a, quote, elite version later that doesn't come with that. And then we also get a bunch of accessories, which we're going to look at when we get to robot mode. You do want to be careful with the accessories because they only work with certain commands and actually can get in the way. So if you open up this little box here, nice little picture of Grimlock there on this side. So let's get started. And there's a book in here, quick start guide. And this will tell you what to do, tells you how to charge it, how to turn it on, some initial commands. You want to be careful with these commands because some of them don't work with the weapons. It doesn't really tell you that. If you get the app, it definitely tells you that, but here it doesn't tell you that, so you got to be careful. Also, you need enough space. So on this review area, I have maybe 3 by 2 feet, and that's a little tight. So I would say you probably need a bigger space than even that. And let's just get into it. We're going to do a couple commands here so you can sort of see how it works. Hey, Grimlock.
Yes, we go.
Hello.
Me, Grimlock, know you, friend.
Hey, Grimlock.
Yes, we go.
Autobots.
No care about Autobots. Me, Grimlock, Dinobots.
Alright, so you saw there, it does have a light up LED in the mouth as well as the eyes. You can change those colors using creative commands, which I'll show you a bit later. Let's close this back up. And it's pretty neat what you can do. Now, I just want to talk about the shutdown process for a second. So if you hold down this button or you tell him to shut down, it'll turn off all the motors and everything. So I'm just going to tell him, hey, Grimlock.
Yes, we go.
Shut down.
Goodbye, friends. Goodbye.
All right, in this mode, nothing happens. It just kind of stays there. Now, the servos are now loose. So if you touch it, he will kind of collapse on these motors. By the way, this chrome is a fingerprint magnet, so you do want to wipe it off every once in a while. But in robot mode, if you shut it down, it doesn't, not only does it crumple, but it also doesn't work properly when you turn it back on. So when you're going to shut it down, I recommend you transform it into dyno mode, then turn it off. Otherwise, it'll be kind of a pain turning it back on. So let's turn it back on. The only way to turn it on is to hold this button down for 5 seconds, and then you'll see it kind of jitter, and then you'll know you can let go. All right. So close.
Me, Grimlock, stronger. Me, Grimlock, must bleed.
So now we're ready to go again. I'll do one more voice command, which will bring him to robot mode. Then we'll show you the app so we can start messing with that. All right, so hey Grimlock. Hey Grimlock.
Yes, we go.
attack.
It's extinction time. Meet Grimlock. Smash break.
Alright, so there's an action that requires robot mode, and that's why you saw him transform, because he needs to be in robot mode to do that action. So that's one thing that, it's not the greatest thing about the book, the commands, because it doesn't tell you anything. It doesn't tell you which mode, it doesn't tell you whether you need the weapons or not. So my recommendation is to use the app. It's not as fun as telling Grimlock to do things, but it definitely is more intuitive in terms of telling you what's about to happen, so you're not surprised. And some things, the surprises are cool. Other things, the surprises are actually detrimental to the figure. So you do want to be careful what commands you're issuing. All right, now that we have him in robot mode, I can show you the app. And we're going to hit connect. And it found Grimlock, so let's hit connect there.
Grimlock. Bluetooth connection successful.
And of course he tells you he's connected. And there is a few different options here. We're going to start with Mini Theater, which is kind of a built-in little full action. So it says uninstall the accessories, which is nice to know because you don't want it to accidentally fly. Alright, and this theater...
I am Dynamite.
This theater occurs in Dynamo, or starts in Dynamo mode. So we want to make sure, and that's why it transforms, because it has to start from the mode that it's going to begin with. So this is basically a show, right? It's got all the things programmed together. So once I hit start, it'll just go through the entire show. You might see me backing it up a little bit if it's getting too close to the edge of the table, but let's check it out and see how it goes. Alright, so that was a pretty good demo of a lot of the things that he can do. And let's do some of these commands here so we can find out more, but that's what the mini theater is. The next thing over, if we go back to the main menu, is Bluetooth control. So this allows you to basically control him individually, basically like a remote control car, but a remote control Grimlock. So here you'll see a direction pad. You can walk, make forward, back. You can make him sidestep. We can make him rotate. Although he rotates very slowly, but he does rotate. I'll make him step back so we can see him. He does have the sound effects too, so that kind of adds to the fun factor of it. Then there's these down here. So we have this one.
Optimus Prime, strong leader. Like me, Grimlock.
Yeah. So that one, I mean, it's just another action. But here you see a gun and a sword. So let's bring those in so you can see. So the sword has translucent red with chrome red for the handle. If you push down on this, it'll turn it on. So it looks like that's when it's off. We'll leave it on. This will fit in the hand. And then we can hit that button in the app to do the actions. So let's see how it goes. And it says, please install the accessories for the operation. And you want to make sure the action you're doing requires the accessories. Some of them, if you have the accessories in, it'll actually cause a problem. So make sure that is one. And I'll show you how to do that. All right, so there's him using the sword. And then the gun has a switch right here. That one's a little bit dimmer, but it does light up. And let's hit this gun. Pretty cool. And that's basically it for that mode. We also get his crown done in this gold chrome. It's just plastic. This is the back, this little piece right here. So make sure you aim that towards the back. It does fit on his head. He doesn't really do anything with it per se, like he does with the gun and the sword, but it does look nice. Now, since we've finished with that, let's go to the actions menu. So that's right here. So let action. And there's a whole bunch of actions. I'm sure they're hard to see, but some of them, we'll go to robot mode, have a little gun and a sword, or just the gun or just the sword. So that's how you know whether you should have the accessories in the hands. A lot of them don't use it, so you don't want to have them in there because it'll cause a little collision with other parts. So let's do this fire one. Let's see how it goes.
Grimlock attack!
And I do wish the head would rotate as well as part of it, but it doesn't. Another one, it says Decepticons.
Yes. Rest Decepticons now! These Grimlock no also big king!
Pretty cool. Let's take out the gun. I'm going to do one called Final Slash. This is a sword action. Push him back here so you can see. So yeah, Final Slash. I don't know. And then he shut down after, so I'm not sure. But let's take the weapons out because I don't want to cause any issues. I've had issues with them colliding during other actions. So there's a couple of cool things here. I guess I'll do a few of them. This is called Watch Grimlock.
Not bad for Autobots. Now watch Grimlock. It's extinction time.
All right, we'll do one more command for demonstration purposes, and then I'm going to talk about the shutdown stuff. So this is called Rock King. This is my favorite. Only thing that would make it better is if you had an actual guitar. He's bent really far back.
It's good to be king.
And you can see his final position is different from where he started, which is why you need so much space to play with him. Just because he moves around a lot It doesn't always return back to the original position. All right, so now I'm going to show you something about the shutdown, and I mentioned this earlier. You want to shut it down when it's in dyno mode. But let's say you shut it down in robot mode. I'll show you what happens. Actually, I'll use the voice commands. Hey, Grimlock.
Yes, we go.
Shut down.
Goodbye, friend. Goodbye.
So he basically puts his arms down and bends over. And he's stable in this position once you touch it. He's not going to fall over. If you kind of move it around, then the servers will start flopping around. You would think you could turn it back on like this, but you cannot. If you try to turn it on, he will try to transform, and it'll be a problem. So what you want to do is stand it back up. And it's really, this is why I said don't shut it down in robot mode. But turn it back on, you have to hold the button for 5 seconds. You'll see it blip for a second. All right, he turned on. So get your hands off of it because you'll get crushed.
Make Grimlock stronger. Make Grimlock must bleed.
And you can see, I kind of had to get my hands out of the way because there's no way to turn it on if it's in robot mode without colliding with things. It just doesn't work. So I highly recommend you only shut it down in dyno mode and just leave it, let it stand in dyno mode and then charge it that way. All right, the last thing I want to show you in the app is the create button. So if you click create, you can basically do block-based programming. I'm going to show you robot.
Make Grimlock feel important.
So that means he's ready to kind of get programmed. You can do actions, you can do a loop, you can change the colors, stuff like that. So I've already done one, I've made one already, so I'll show you that one. And he always resets after programming just to make sure all of his parts are in the right place. All right, so I'm going to go back to action, robot, and I programmed one called Pink Eye. So here's Pink Eye.
Make Grimlock feel important.
So it's
No.
So his eyes turned pink and his arms went up. That's just simple programming. I didn't do anything complicated, but pretty cool that you can do that. You can make your own little programs. I really like that. All right, a few minor things here in dyno mode. There are some commands that are only available in the app compared to the voice commands. So one of them is farting. And if you have kids, that's definitely going to be entertaining. Troublemaker. So, final recommendations on the Robosen Transformers Auto Converting Grimlock. I'm going to give this guy a 4 to 5. I'm going to recommend it. It is really cool to see some of the things it can do. Now, just getting over the gimmick of being able to transform and being able to do all those actions, which in and of itself is an engineering feat to be able to do all that. The fact that they created an app where as a customer, as a consumer, I can program my own stuff into it. I can make him do different things. I can change the colors. That to me is really very special. Most robotic companies don't really do that. And they did it in a way that it's achievable. You could do it block-based or you could do it actual more detailed programming. And I think that's pretty neat. Now there are some limitations. He doesn't have everything you'd expect. Like for example, he doesn't have a thigh rotation. He doesn't have a waist swivel. He doesn't have ab crunch. There's certain things he just can't do. But even without that, I think the programming, the fact that you can program it. Now, I programmed it like this for the final recommendations because I wanted to put him in a pose. This took me about 15 minutes to get it. I raised up the arm, I bent the elbow, rotated the elbow, put the feet flat, put the legs, the hips out a little bit. That took 15 minutes to get it, just to do that. So it is time consuming. You can take some time to actually make it do stuff that is interesting. But it is rewarding to do that. Now, some of the downsides, I think, is one, the price point. At $1,500, it is definitely not something I would buy. At $750, I was tempted, and I did buy it, but it's a gift. Me personally, I don't plan to have this in my home because my purpose would be to display, and because you cannot display it in robot mode, he just puts his arms down and sits down, and furthermore, turning it back on in robot mode causes problems. Then it's just not for me. I really would want to display just like this, with the gun, the sword, the crown, and it looks really good. But because you can't, it kind of is a no-go for me. Now, you can display it in the dyno mode, and I think that looks good, so that's why it still gets a 4 out of 5. And obviously you can play with it and mess with it. It is very impressive. I did show it to my daughter and my wife. They really thought it was cool. It is a kind of a party piece or a discussion conversation piece. When people come over, you can show them all it does. So it does fulfill that role. It's not completely useless. If you are the person who just wants to display it, I would not buy this. But if you're planning to show it off, use it, play with it, I think you'll really enjoy it. But if they come out with a Jetfire, obviously, or Skyfire, I would definitely be in for that. But I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon because it's not one of the big 6. But that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Thanks to Niles for allowing me to review his copy. And we'll see you next time.